On this episode of the Locked On NBA Big Board podcast, I will give detailed scouting reports for all of the prospects that I have in my top 14. I've done hours and hours and hours of research and watching film, and so I'm going to give you my strengths and areas of concern for each of my top 14 prospects. Stay tuned. Big shout out to each and every person that has made the Locked On NBA Big Board podcast your first listen of the day. And this episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. That is with Game Time. I'm your host, Rafael Barlowe, the director of scouting for NBA Big Board and the founder of NBA Draft Junkies, which I have some new young and hungry writers that are going to be contributing to the NBA Draft Junkies site. I want to use the platform to help others out, launch their careers, and help them get started. I know for me, I just kind of had to start from the bottom and create my own path, and so it's a way that I can try to give back and help someone or help others try to launch their careers in scouting. So check it out, NBADraftJunkies.com. But then check out NBABigBoard.com. I just released my updated full first-round mock draft. I didn't put the team needs into account. I just went by the order, and I had my top prospects on there. And each player has I guess you could say it's a prospect card where it has some of the detailed scouting reports. So today, in this episode, I am going to share with you the detailed scouting reports from the players in my lottery. At number 1, I have Victor Wembanyama. I shouldn't say we all know, but Wembanyama is a can't-miss prospect, 7'5", 220 pounds, and he might be the best prospect I've seen since LeBron James. And some of his strengths are he has an unbelievable blend of height, length, and talent. He is a potential, don't want to say he is right now, but he has the potential to be a generational defender. He's an excellent shot blocker, as you can imagine. With a 7'8" wingspan, he is coordinated, he's agile, he can move his feet, he can defend in space. He can serve as a vertical lob threat, which is something that I haven't seen a lot of in France. I think you'll see a lot more of that in the NBA with better spacing and better playmakers. But again, he's 7'5", 7'8" wingspan. He's athletic, so he has like this dunk radius or this lob radius that very few guys can get and catch a lob where he can catch one. He is impressive in the open court, long strides to the rim. Matter of fact, before I go, did you see the play that he made a few days ago? You have to check it out. It was on the NBA.com Twitter feed. He shot a step back three. Now visualize this. If you haven't seen it, it sounds crazy. So you have to see it to believe it. He shot a step back three. He missed it. And he caught his own missed step back three and tip dunked. Like he tip dunked his own missed step back three. As crazy as it sounds, as unbelievable as it sounds, it really happened. If someone told me, yeah, there's a guy that shot a step back three, he missed it, and then he tipped in his own miss, I'd be like, man, you're crazy. But this actually happened. So that just gives you a glimpse of how athletic Victor Wembanyama is. I think he's a really good passer. He sees over defenses. Obviously, 7'5". There's different angles that he can see that nobody else can. Like I said, excellent rim run in transition. He's fast on the open floor. He is handling the ball like a wing at 7'5". Just watch the highlight. He is handling to the point now where I've talked to different people, and they're not 100% sure that he is a center. Like they think he's talented enough to where you can play him in different spots all over the floor. But he has a great handle for someone that size. He is a shot maker. He can knock down shots. He can create his own shot. In the post, even though he lacks the strength right now, he is pretty, decent of a scorer in the post. He does have the balance and the footwork and the moves and the counters. Right now, it's just the strength is the biggest issue there. Does have a soft touch around the rim. Again, the massive wingspan makes what may seem like a jump shot or a hook to someone else, a layup for him. He shoots over the top of smaller defenders. And as far as like the jumper, so far this season, as of today, he's shooting 37% on jumpers off the catch. Now, the three-point shooting percentage isn't great, and that's because he is having to create a lot of his shots, but he is actually pretty efficient on the catch. He's shooting 71% on shots around the rim, and he is currently leading the French league in scoring, rebounds, and blocks. Now, the biggest areas of concern are he must fill out, must get stronger. The shooting consistency, even though the numbers are solid, I wouldn't say they're totally consistent yet, but only a few guys are really consistent shooters at 19 years old. He does have a tendency to hunt highlights. He struggles with physicality a little bit. There were some concerns coming into the season about his health, but he's been able to remain healthy. Another area of concern is I think he does have a tendency to settle for threes, and he has more turnovers than assists. Currently, he's 56 turnovers and 80 assists. But overall, Wembanyama is the top prospect in this draft, and it's by a wide margin, in my opinion. Some may disagree, but it's by a wide margin, in my opinion. Right now, you're really going to disagree because I have Brandon Miller at number 2 on my big board and in my mock draft. Yes, I know. He had a very terrible NCAA tournament. He made just 8 out of 41 shots. It was like historically bad, but I still believe in his size, his shooting, his defense. I think he has a skill set that is very valuable in a league that is starving for wings. Now, his strengths, what he brings to the table: 6'9", good physical tools, the good combination of size, length, and athleticism. He's long, he's agile, he's fluid. He does have guard skills. And he shot 38% from deep on 7.5 attempts per game. And I'd say for like 90% of the season, he was over 40%. He just went through a very, very cold spell, and the NCAA tournament brought his numbers down. But he was 38% from 3, 7.5 attempts per game. He shot 48% on unguarded catch-and-shoot jumpers, which he is, it just basically means he's deadly. If you give him a really good playmaker, and in the NBA, he's going to knock down shots, especially when he's wide open. He shot 40% on jump shots overall off the catch, made 55% of his attempts in transition. I think he's a high-level shot maker. He can make difficult shots. He can be a matchup defender, because I think you can probably play him some as a small ball 4 in some lineups. He can handle, and I've mentioned it time and time again, I think he has more game than he was able to show because Alabama didn't really allow him to shoot mid-range shots or score out the mid-post. You saw a little bit of the mid-post later on, but I think that there's more than what he was able to show. I think he has one of the highest upsides in this class. I think he can be a 3-level scorer and shot maker. He rebounds the ball, about 8 rebounds per game. And the big key is the flashes of playmaking. I think that he can be someone that you can put in ball screens, that he can make plays for others. And he was a very good mid-range shooter, pull-up shooter on the prep level. Like I said, he wasn't able to shoot it. Now, the concerns are he's a little bit older for his class. I think he's 20 years old. Does have a tendency to settle for contested jumpers. He did have a negative assist-to-turnover ratio. And he only shot 54% at the rim. It was like he got off to a slow start at the rim. Then he climbed and had really good numbers, and then the numbers dipped again. I think he'll need to tighten his handle a little bit. But overall, Brandon Miller, obviously I have him at number 2. I'm very, very high on his skill set and what he brings to the table. All right, number 3, I have Scoot Henderson. And Scoot got off to a crazy start, 25 points or more in 4 of his first 5 games. And then he really struggled after the All-Star break. His numbers went down to 39% from the floor and 27% from 3 after the All-Star break. But let's get into what he does well. Explosive athlete with vertical pop. He changes speed, switches gears, has a combination of like pace and burst and a quick first step. He's creative off the dribble, has a good handle, got a little bit of shake and bake to his game. Strong frame. Like, there's a picture going around where he looks like a linebacker. I know he has on like a wristband. And sometimes when guys wear wristbands, it makes him look even stronger. But he is, it's a term that people may not remember, but yoked up. Definitely has a mature body and frame for his size. Also has huge hands, which should help him finish around the rim. He's a good pull-up shooter. He shot 36% on pull-up jumpers this year, which was actually down because he shot 45% on pull-up jumpers in the G League in 21-22. He is a much improved playmaker this year. He actually had 3 games where he had 12 or more assists. Terrific pick-and-roll ball handler. Now, here are the concerns. The shooting, it looked like it was trending in the right direction, and then it just went back down as the season went on. He only shot 32% on jumpers, 33% on jumpers off the catch, 31% on open catch-and-shoot jumpers. And his first year, he only made 17% of his three-pointers. He should be a better finisher at the rim. He only shot 58% at the rim this year, only 56% on layups. Only make 51% of his attempts in transition, which is really weird. And despite the fact that he has excellent size and athleticism, he settles for a lot of pull-up jumpers. So that is my scouting report on Scoot Henderson. All right, when we return, I'll talk about picks 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll see how far we can go. But I want to talk to you about Game Time, because Game Time is a much needed app. Buying tickets to events can be very stressful. I mean, there were times where I wanted to find tickets to games and the prices are ridiculously high, but then if you wait, sometimes the prices can drop. But with Game Time, it is fast and it is the easiest way to buy tickets to sports, music, comedy, and theaters near you, with killer deals on last-minute tickets and their best price guarantee. You can stop stressing over tickets and start getting hyped for the fun that you will have. So forget planning for months in advance. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the last day of the event. You can get exclusive flash deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theaters, and more. And Game Time guarantee means you'll always get the best price. So if you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. So get Game Time. It is the fastest growing ticketing app in the country. Get images of your seat right before you buy so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. You can buy tickets in a matter of seconds, 2 taps, and you are set. And the tickets are sent directly to your phone, so you never have to dig through your email. And that is one of the things I hate. I bought tickets to the AAC tournament on another app, and when I paid for them, the tickets from one app transferred me to Ticketmaster, and I didn't have a Ticketmaster site. It was a mess. Like, I missed like the first 5 or 6 minutes of the game because I couldn't pull it up. But you don't have to worry about that on Game Time because the tickets are sent directly to your phone. So snag the tickets without stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNBA. And when you use that code, you get 20% off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. While you are listening to the Locked On NBA Big Board podcast, this is Rafael Barlowe, and I just covered Victor Wembanyama, Brandon Miller, and Scoot Henderson. All right, so let's talk about the Thompson Twins. And I feel like I could combine them into one scouting report. Start off with Amen, arguably the best athlete in this class, has drawn some comparisons to a bigger version of Ja Morant, which if he's Ja Morant and the shooting issues never materialized, then that means he still could be a all-NBA caliber player. All right, let's talk about what he does well and what he brings to the table. He has excellent size and length for a lead ball handler. He is a phenomenal vertical athlete. He explodes off the ground. Had 54 dunks this season. Has a lightning quick second jump. First step is quick as a hiccup. He literally blows by defenders. He's fast in the open floor. Great transition finisher. Has a little bit of offensive creativity, shifty handle. He's able to get downhill and get to his spots. I love the mentality. I love the toughness and the energy he brings. And in transition, he shot 85% from the floor in transition. Like, that is a crazy stat. 85% from the floor in transition. Shot 81% on cuts to the basket, which he does move without the ball when he doesn't have the ball. And around the rim, he shot 74%. So those numbers are pretty good. He rebounds. He's what I call a long rebound competitor. He doesn't just get the rebounds that come to him. He'll go chase the long rebounds and turn those into personal fast breaks. He can serve as a vertical lob threat. I think the defense is going to be his calling card early. He may have struggles with like concepts, but just as far as like the physical tools and the energy levels, I think he's going to be a really fine defender. Now let's talk about the passing. He's a live dribble passer. He passes the ball ahead. I think he's going to be dynamite in the NBA with floor spacing and pick and roll, rim runners. He sees the entire floor. He makes skip passes. He is good at driving and kicking. I mean, I just can't wait to see him in the NBA offense and, playing in ball screens. And he does have a soft touch finish and floater package. Now the concerns, he's a poor shooter. Only made 29% of his jump shots, only 28% on jumpers off the catch, 28% on pull-up jumpers. Does have a tendency to drive without a plan. I think he struggles a little bit reading the second line of the defense, and he needs to improve his mid-range pull-up, and he's a poor foul shooter, 66% from the foul line. But overall, still have him at number 3. And his brother, not identical, but they have some of the same physical characteristics. I think Amen is a little bit bouncier, but Asur is a long and freaky athletic. He's explosive. He's also a vertical lob threat. He's a very, very good passer, almost to the point where he is criminally underrated as a passer because his brother is considered the better playmaker of the two. But if you look at their assist to turnover ratio and the number of assists, I mean, not far behind. Asur makes skip passes, dump offs, live dribble reads, driving kicks. Also is a crafty and creative ball handler who likes to get downhill, can defend multiple positions, has a good motor, is a transition playmaker, and finisher, fast and open floor. I mean, it's almost like I'm just reading the same thing. Now, he shot 65% at the rim, which wasn't as good as his brother, but 65% at the rim is pretty good. Shot 63% in transition. Made 55% of his shots on cuts to the basket. He had 40 dunks, and I think he has the potential to be a point forward. All right, let's get into the shooting numbers. Poor outside shooter, 31% from the floor on jump shots overall. He shot 32% on pull-up jumpers off the dribble, 30% on unguarded catch and shoots. So it's like when he's left open, he's only making 30% of the shots. Also has a tendency to drive without a plan. And the biggest concern for me is that he only made 51% of his layups. 51% of his layups. That is, that's tough. All right, at number 6, the number 6 player on my mock is a surprise to some because I have Cason Wallace. Cason Wallace has moved up my board and will be the first college guard selected ahead of Anthony Black, Nick Smith Jr., and Keyonte George. And to me, it's mainly because Wallace has the fewest holes in his game. I think he's the best shooter of the bunch. Percentage-wise, the numbers don't lie. And he is the best defender of the bunch. Some may say Anthony Black, but I think Wallace is the safer pick. And I'm a swing for the fences guy, but Wallace, I think he's just a little underrated because he may not have the flash and flair. He is already a NBA-ready defender with his quick hands. And, again, he went to Kentucky. Devin Booker, Jamal Murray, Tyler Hero, Tyrese Maxey, Emmanuel Mick. Quickly, what do they all have in common? Other than going to Kentucky, they all have outplayed the draft position. So with Cason, the strengths are he is a very well-rounded two-way guard, does a little bit of everything to impact winning. He has good size, has a strong frame. He can defend and play both guard spots. He plays at his own pace, very mature game, kind of has like a little old man game. He's a sneaky good athlete. He likes to post up smaller guards. And check this out, 59% on pull-up jumpers inside of 17 feet. That's why I said in a previous podcast, he kind of reminds me of Kawhi in a sense. Again, they're not the same player, but just how he gets to his spot, jumps off 2 feet, and pulls up over the top of defenders. I think he has a chance to be a 3-level scorer. He's tough. He's competitive. He's unselfish. Good court vision. Not spectacular, but he can make the right reads. He has a high IQ. Some say he's the best defender in his class, collects a bunch of stocks, which is steals and blocks. Again, not too many holes in this game, and he is a coach's dream. the areas of concern, because he's so well-rounded, he doesn't have a long list of bullet points, but he is not considered an elite athlete and doesn't have great burst and speed. And he may struggle creating space on his own, but he should be able to get to where he needs to get to with a ball screen. All right, number 7, I have Anthony Black, a fellow Dallas native. And Black is the type of jumbo playmaker and switchable defender that teams, they really, really covet. Now, as far as his strengths, he has excellent size. He's a natural playmaker at 6'7". He's versatile. He can play and defend all over the floor, has advanced court vision, good feel for the game. He understands how to run a team and offense. I think he just plays a winning style of basketball with good intangibles. He loves to make plays attacking downhill. He's an effective slasher. He drew a lot of fouls his freshman year at Arkansas. 5.3 free throw attempts per game, which is it's like crazy to me, because the knock that I had on him coming into the season was I didn't think that he was really aggressive or assertive. But he is taking more free throws per game than I would have assumed he was going to take shots per game. So I am glad to say that I was kind of wrong about that with Anthony Black. I love how he uses his size and his body to his advantage against smaller defenders. He's patient. He's poised in the pick and roll, rebounds. He does a lot of things well. Now, the concern for him is the concern for almost everybody that I've talked about prior to Cason. He's not a good shooter. And with Anthony Black, he only shot 32% on jump shots overall. Doesn't have a mid-range pull-up game. He's kind of predictable in the half court. He's an average finisher at the rim, and he's a reluctant shooter that only shot 70% from the foul line. I think that he's going to need a screen to get by NBA level defenders, because he lacks a blow by first step, and he's not much of a space creator off the bounce. But I still have Anthony Black as a top 10 pick. All right, when we return, I'll round out the rest of the players in my lottery. But I want to talk to you about BetterHelp. And this show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Give online therapy a try at betterhelp.com/LockedOnNBA and get on your way to being your best self. Because getting to know yourself can be a lifelong process, especially when we are always growing and changing. And therapy is all about deepening your self-awareness and understanding. Because sometimes we do not know what we want, or we react the way we do. We don't know why we react the way we do until we talk things through. So BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who can take you on that journey of self-discovery from wherever you are. If you've benefited from therapy, then you understand the importance of therapy and why BetterHelp can be important. And if you are thinking, you the listener, if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It is designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited for your schedule. Just fill out the brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime you want for no additional charge. So if you're not feeling the therapist that you have or you were originally assigned to, you can switch and it won't cost you a penny. So discover your potential with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/LockedOnNBA and you will get 10% off your first month. That is BetterHelp, HELP.com/LockedOnNBA. All right, last segment. I want to talk about Cam Whitmore. Now, Cam has been in the same draft range for me all season, but I've come around. I'm starting to like him a little bit more. He's still only 18 years old. And let's talk about his strength. He is an explosive, powerful athlete, strong frame, wide shoulders. Does not look like an 18-year-old. He is a shot maker off the dribble. He uses side steps and step backs. He can attack the rim off the bounce. He has the versatility to play both forward spots. Good in transition, shot 55% in the open floor. Has the strength to play bully ball. He rebounds. And when he gets the rebound, the defensive rebound, he can push the ball up the floor himself, which is something that he likes to do. I really like his motor. Sometimes he plays hard and he's active, but there are some games where I feel like there were a few games this year where I felt like that he kind of coasted. But overall, he has a good motor, and crashes the offensive glass, has a nose for the basketball. He's streaky, but he is a capable shooter. He is a good cutter, and that's what I mentioned about him being active. He shot 73% on cuts to the rim. He can attack closeouts. He finishes through contact. He actually shot 40% on catch and shoot jumpers. Likes to post up smaller players. I think that he is one of the players in this draft class that is impacted by the style of college basketball the most. I think that in the NBA with better spacing, he'll be a lot more effective as a scorer. And I want to see him used as a roll man. I think it'd be very interesting to see him used as the roll man. I think a creative coach can put him there. He shot 64% at the rim. Now, the areas of concern, I mean, like most of the guys, shooting consistency. Now, he does have a tendency to play out of control. He doesn't have a mid-range pull-up, in my opinion. Doesn't really have anything like as far as like a floater, soft touch package around the rim. Little turnover prone. Is not as good a free throw shooter as you think that he should be. The biggest concern that you often hear people talk about when they're talking about Cam Whitmore is the passing. Not a great passer or playmaker. Only had 20 assists for the season, 42 turnovers. So his turnovers more than doubled his assists. And he is kind of predictable as far as what he's going to do when he's driving left or what he's going to do when he's going right. And so I still like Cam. I still have him in my top 10. At number 9, I have Jarace Walker. Now, Walker is somebody that I've seen people have as high as number 6 because of his two-way potential. He has the strength and the wingspan to defend 4s and 5s. He can block shots. Now, let's get to his strengths. He is a good defender. I was going to say great, but I'll say good defender. Broad shoulders, 7'2" wingspan. He's strong. He's agile. He's fluid. He can play a role as like a dunker spot finisher. He shot 66% around the rim. He has upside as a low post scorer. He shot 51% on post-ups. He's active on the glass. He can rebound. He can push the ball on the rebound. Has a little bit of a face-up game. Can attack off the dribble. Not like super explosive, but he has a sneaky first step. And I just think like his speed is deceptive when you look at his size. Soft touch around the rim, made 56% of his hook shots, and that's one of the things I like is that he does have a hook shot in his arsenal, and I think the hook shot is important when you get offensive rebounds and you can just shoot a baby hook because I'm left-handed, but I was going to say like my right shoulder is between the ball and the defender as opposed to some guys, they get an offensive rebound and they have to shoot like a fadeaway, so I think it's good that he has a hook. I think he can be a good vertical lob threat. High IQ, another active cutter, shot 73% on cuts to the rim. Stat sheet stuffer. He is a very good ball handler for 4. Some think that he could be a small ball 5. What I like is that he is a decent shooter. The shot, I'm not 100% sold on it, but he did shoot 41% on unguarded catch-and-shoot jumpers. I thought that was like one of the more amazing stats on the season. Shot 67% in transition, and he shot 34% from 3. And I saw someone talk about how the sample size in college is so small in a sense that if a guy misses 5 threes, like the difference it can make in a shot. And so Walker's a guy, though, at one point he was like at 38, 39% and missed a few shots, and then he went down to 34. But before he got to that point, he had a streak of like 3 games where he shot the ball really, really well, and I think that really boosted him up to the 34% where he finished at. Now, the areas of concern, the shot is a little slow. There is like a slight hitch to it. The touch is a little inconsistent, only 66% from the foul line, lacks ideal blow-by speed, may have issues finishing in traffic versus length, and doesn't have much of a left hand. Kind of gambles a little bit on defense, and he likes to shoot pull-up jumpers, but he's only making 30% of them. Right at number 10, I have the Dallas Mavericks, and I mention the Mavericks because I don't know what's going on in Dallas. I don't know if they're trying to keep their pick. I don't know if they want to lose so they can't keep the pick. I don't know if they want to go to the play. I don't know. But right now, as of today, April 4th, they are in position to keep their pick if the lottery goes according to plan. And I have them selecting Taylor Hendricks, even though I think Derek Lively would probably be a really good choice there, a little bit bigger. But with Hendricks, we're talking about a guy that came out of nowhere. Good positional size at 6'9". He's athletic. He can be a vertical lob threat, gets off the floor quickly. And he shot 39% from three. Check these numbers out. 39% from three, 38% on jump shots, 41% on unguarded catch and shoot attempts, shot 41% on jumpers off the dribble. And this is a 4-man. Like I said, good athlete. He's fluid. He's coordinated. I think he has the perfect skill set for a modern-day 4. He can be your rim roller or he can be your pick-and-pop threat. And he has the speed to outrun most bigs in transition. I like him. I really, really like him. And I forgot, defensively, he's a versatile defender that can also protect the rim. He blocked 1.7 shots per game. Now, the areas of concern, he's still a little raw, needs to get stronger, and for some reason, he only made 44% of his layups, only 44%. And he needs to work on adding a little bit more game with this offhand. All right, at number 11, I have Keyonte George. Keyonte George has been ranked higher for the most part of the season, and I've had the opportunity to watch him work out the last couple days. So I could be moving him up. I think he has a high upside as a microwave scorer. He's aggressive. I think he should be able to score on 3 levels. I like his pace and his ability to switch gears and change speeds. I really love his shot making off the dribble. One of the things I did not know this until he mentioned it to me, and I don't think he'd mind if I mention. Hopefully, I'll be able to get him on a podcast and create some content with him. But I did not realize that he was 20 pounds heavier than he would have liked to be. I think he told me at one point he was up to 220 this season. And when I saw him yesterday, he said he was about 205. So that is interesting. I personally did not see it. I didn't see the extra weight, but he said it was there. And Keyonte is a better athlete than what he shows. But let's just get back to the strength. Shot 79% on free throws. 47% on unguarded catch and shoot jumpers. Is an improved defender. He rebounds. Now, the areas of concern, he had 95 turnovers and 91 assists. He has a tendency to force the issue. He doesn't take the best angles at the rim. He only shot 37% from the floor. Only 33% on jump shots. Only 52% around the basket. And he's had 30 of his shots blocked in the 33 games that he played. So those are my concerns about Keyonte George. All right, the last 3, 12, 13, and 14. At number 12, I have Nick Smith, a guy that a lot of people thought he could be in the top 6. But he has fallen to 12. As of now, I think there's a chance that he can move up. It's definitely got to put his numbers and his struggles into context. What I like about Nick Smith, he has good size for a combo guard at 6'5". He can play on or off the ball. Smooth athlete. I think he has excellent fluidity, plays with pace, changes speeds off the dribble. I love how his feet are always moving. He has active feet. He's shifty, and he's quick and creative. And his greatest strength, I thought, coming into the season was his touch around the rim and his floaters. And he struggled on floaters this year. Only made 31% of his floaters. But he shot 48% on unguarded catch and shoot jumpers. Sounds like Arkansas needed to find ways to get him open. Now, as far as the areas of concern, he's quick, but he's not blazing fast. Let me take it back. He's a good athlete, but he's not explosive. He doesn't like getting all the way to the rim. When he does, he kind of struggles against length. His shot selection is a little questionable. Does take some off-balance shots. The floater is, again, that's his bread and butter. He favors that over finishing at the rim. I think he struggles with efficiency. The three-point shooting was very inconsistent this year, and he only shot 54% at the rim and 37% from the floor. All right, at number 13, I have Gigi Jackson. I'm super high on Gigi. I had a chance to see Gigi today. I've been on the move. I've been trying to, let me say this. My goal for this year is to have the best pre-draft content out. I'm working on some things. If I get this stuff figured out, I'm going to for real be one of the top dogs in the space. So I had a chance to see Gigi. He is a lot bigger than I thought. and he has good positional size for NBA 4. I think he's taller. I think they got him listed at like 6'9". He might be 6'10". And then after watching the McDonald's game last week, I'm 100% sold that Gigi will be the top pick in 2024. But let's talk about what he does well. He's a good athlete, vertical pop. He has an advanced face-up game, quick first step. He beats slower bigs off the dribble. I think he has impressive scoring instincts, especially when you consider that he started the season off at 17 years old, has the offensive creativity to make tough shots. I love when he is on. When he's on, he's one of the, at least to me, one of the most entertaining players to watch. I think that he should be able to develop into a 3-level scorer. He has the tools to be a good defender, but still he was behind on the defensive end. Now, as far as the areas of concern, only shot 48% on layups. He was really inefficient from the floor this season. Only shot 67% from the foul line. 86 turnovers and 27 assists. That is tough to say. 86 turnovers and 27 assists. He definitely needs to improve as a playmaker and a passer. But in his defense, he did not have like the greatest supporting cast around him. But I'm still high on Gigi, and I will put him in the lottery. All right, last but not least, it is Jordan Hawkins, who just won a national championship last night. And it's debatable if he's the best shooter in this draft class. But I can strongly say that I believe without a doubt he's the best movement shooter in this class. Has a lightning quick release, has this rare ability to catch and release like pop, pop. Like it is fast. Like he can square his feet, catch, release, fire, pull. I mean, it happens so fast, and he's accurate when he's doing it. So that is a very, very rare skill set to have. Made 38.8% of his threes. He's a good shooter off the catch, 41%. It was his percentage there. Shot 44% on unguarded catch and shoot attempts. 37% on unguarded catch and shoot attempts. So whether he's left open or covered, he is pretty efficient from three. He's a transition floor spacer, and it's weird because you're used to talking about a guy being good in transition as like someone that's flying down the lanes and dunking the ball and making acrobatic finishes, but he is more so of a transition floor spacer where he is such a threat with his feet set that, the ball handler either can have a wide open lane or, you can pass it to Jordan Hawkins where he is going to knock it down. He has an active motor, which coming off pin downs and screens and the way he moves across the floor, he definitely have to have an active motor. Now, the areas of concern needs to get stronger. Doesn't have much offensive creativity off the dribble, not much of a playmaker. Also had more turnovers than assists. And the question is, how does he impact games if his shot isn't falling? That's a very key question. I think he's an average rebounder, but if the shot isn't falling, I think he's a good enough shooter where the shooting gravity could impact games, but that is a valid concern. All right, big thank you for making the Locked On NBA Big Board podcast your first listen of the day. Now for your second listen, you got to check out Locked On Game to Game, every result. Locked On Game to Game covers every game from across the league, every game, every result with local analysis that only we at Locked On can deliver. So follow Game to Game on the Locked On NBA channel. It is available on the Odyssey app, YouTube, wherever you get your podcast. Once again, it's Rafael Barlowe, and I am out.